Welcome to Switched on IT. I'm Barry. This is the show where we talk about everything IT. These days, mobile websites have become more and more important in the internet landscape. More and more people are watching video, more and more people are checking up on where they want to go. If you're going to a restaurant or something like that, you probably check it on your mobile phone. We know here at Power TV Australia that more and more people are watching our live streams on their phones rather than going to a website. I guess it's portable, you can get around, you can do things with it. If you're traveling on the train or a bus, you can always get your phone out and have a look at it. So it's probably not surprising that that's happened. And today, Doug and Ray are going to talk about the kinds of things that you need to do to make sure that your mobile website is user-friendly and is also SEO-friendly. So we're going to go now to Doug and Ray. They're already with us, and we'll get them to chat with you about mobile website. Good morning, Doug and Ray. How are you guys today?
Really well, Barry. Good to hear from you.
Great. Ray,
doing great.
It's evening for you.
It is evening for me here.
Okay. Now, I believe we're talking about mobile web today. Thank you, gentlemen. We look forward to hearing all about mobile web.
Thanks, Barry, and good evening. Good evening, Ray. Just having an overview,
Doug.
I guess, of thanks. An overview of mobile websites. Most people have their website for their business. They know that people view their website just through a normal, PC or a Mac. That's what we're all familiar with. But having a mobile website or a website that displays nicely on a mobile device, obviously that's really only going to be relevant when lots of people are looking at my website, and business owners are having their customers look at their websites on a mobile device or a tablet. So what are the trends that we know about in terms of the device that people are looking at websites from?
Well, we know that globally, almost every statistic shows that people are doing more on their smartphones and mobile tablets. And so we're just seeing a remarkable increase in those numbers. So Doug, we know across the board we're seeing a remarkable change in user behavior, both on smartphones and tablets. And so what we're seeing is people using their mobile environment for more search. There's more search happening now in 2018 on mobile devices than ever before. It now is more than desktop, obviously. And we're seeing more people use email. I think the latest statistic I saw was like 70-something% of email is checked on a smartphone. So people are doing search on their phones. People are browsing websites on their phones. They're checking email. And obviously they're utilizing the app ecosystem, the mobile application ecosystem on their devices. So business owners need to be aware of the fact that the world is going mobile.
Very true, Ray, and I think that any of us that live in Sydney, for example, and jump on the odd ferry or bus or train, everybody has got their head buried into a mobile device, and from what I see, from what I observe firsthand, they're on their email, they're sending text messages, they're on social media, and they're browsing the web, and we can see that at Oz Hosting in our own browsing history as well. That a very significant percentage of our customer base or viewership for our website are accessing the website on a mobile device. So most small businesses are pretty cost sensitive. So I guess the next question is, if you want your website to display well on a mobile device, am I doubling my cost, or do I have to have a completely separate website and pay a developer to do it all again, or or what are the options in terms of improving the user experience when they're on a mobile device visiting my website?
Yeah, that's a great question, Doug. I think that people have options. If you are a business that has predominant web traffic and you have people who are only looking for certain types of information, I think I'm probably in potentially the minority here, but I believe that an additional website could be beneficial to many small businesses where they have retail traffic or restaurant, and they want to be able to have a bespoke mobile application or mobile website, that is, for visitors. And so I think there is an opportunity there for those who want to have the budget and who have enough people coming to their website. And this comes down to what you talked about, which is looking at your analytics data, looking at your website traffic data, and seeing how much traffic is mobile. If you start to see a dominant amount of traffic coming from mobile, then you may want to decide to have a separate mobile website directly for that. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have it rebuilt. There are tools that allow you to be able to create different types of mobile websites. There are native mobile websites, which is what I was just talking about, but you could have a responsive website, which basically changes based on the screen size. So it's the same content, but just adapts to the screen size so that it lays out differently. And then adaptive sites. Adaptive sites identify the screen size and show different types of sites, different types of layouts based on the screen size that's being resolved, being downloaded to. So you have some options there. I think that for business owners who are budget conscious and don't have the budget, you probably know this as much as I do, that there are very simple ways in which you can optimize a site that's currently desktop only for the mobile interface. And so you want to talk to your website developer, designer, and work with them to make sure that you could be seen by Google and the other search engines, both on the mobile search index, but then also that when someone visits your site, it looks good on mobile.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy for any business owner to do the research. Just open up your mobile phone and have a look at what your website looks like. And I know I've done that many times, and again just recently to prepare for our discussion. And I'm not entirely happy with what I see, to be honest, with the Oz hosting one. So I'm pretty sure ours is the responsive capability where it's just kind of laying out the same content in a slightly more user-friendly way for the amount of real estate that a small screen provides. But I don't think it's a terrific experience. So to me, it sounds like we'd be better off using the adaptive approach, where you actually look at the page and work out, well, what content do I really want to have coming across from my website into the adaptive version, and maybe make some edits on that basis. Is that something which is pretty straightforward to do, or what's the in terms of the bill that someone's going to get from their developer for doing that? Is it a significant task, or are there sort of controls in there that make it pretty easy to make those calls, like checking the box for different things to go into the mobile friendly version of your adaptive site?
Yeah, that really determines, it's determined by the content management system, the CMS, or the platform that you're using to host your site, and whether or not an adaptive or a native mobile website is something that would behoove you. This goes back to my first point about this, which is that, for a site like Oz Hosting, you can determine what people on mobile are needing when they visit your site, both someone who is new to the site and someone who's been to your site over and over again. And perhaps the mobile site is only giving that content. So it's a very small site, it only has a little bit of limited information, but it's going to be a remarkably faster and streamlined user experience. And then if somebody wants to see the full site, they could just click on desktop version in the bottom of the site, and be taken to now the full desktop version if they really do need something beyond what the mobile site gives. I usually give a restaurant as an example here, and hopefully this helps people kind of understand. But if you're going to a restaurant, what's the reason why you would go to a restaurant website? I mean, it's not to read the restaurants. If you're walking down the street, or if you're in your car, and hopefully in the passenger seat, not the driver's seat, and you're checking out the website of a restaurant, practicality comes into play, right? What are you checking out? You're looking for hours of operation. You're seeing whether you can make a reservation. You're looking for a phone number. You're looking for an address. Perhaps you're looking for the menu, right? You're not looking for the history and background and video of the restaurant. You're not looking for any of that stuff. You're really just trying to get to the heart of a few basic questions. And the faster the site loads, the better the user experience, the more likely you are to patronize that restaurant. So that's the kind of environment where you could create very customized, mobile optimized site, and then direct people to your full desktop version if they need to. But now you've got a really slick, fast loading site that does that. Whereas on your desktop version you can have video and all kinds of well displayed menus and that kind of thing that can be a little bit weightier, but the desktop can handle that. On a mobile device, you're not gonna get as good of an experience, so you might as well not try to push people to those things. And again, it just depends on your situation. But to your point in terms of cost, it will range quite widely depending upon what you decide. I think it's good for people to understand that when you are developing a mobile website, there's something called the user agent, and so it can identify the device. The browser automatically identifies the device that's logging in. So based on that user agent, based on the device, your browser can display any number of different types of sites to it. It can direct it wherever it wants to, based on what device it sees registers. So you have a lot of control over where you direct people just to your homepage, and you should consider that. I mean, I don't think you should go ahead and decide you need to launch a mobile website tomorrow. Maybe a responsive site will work, but seeing a responsive site, I mean, I see this all the time. There's a responsive site, and it's got a bunch of text, and all that's been done is it's just been smushed onto a smaller screen. And so, that's not a very good experience when you're trying to get something, you're trying to get some nugget of information and then move on with your life. And if you're trying to do that as a consumer, you as a business owner need to really think about how your user is browsing your website on the mobile experience.
That's some really good practical advice there, Ray, and yeah, thanks for putting that so succinctly. I totally agree. You need to look at your business and put yourself in the viewer's shoes. If they're viewing your website from a mobile phone, what are they most likely to be looking for, and just make that as simple and accessible as you possibly can. That makes all the sense in the world. I think with our business, and a restaurant would be another good example. Put that phone number right up the top, so that with click to call enabled, very likely people in that sort of situation, they're not doing a huge amount of research, because it's just not a big enough screen size to take everything in. So it's probably because they're going to do something, quick and easy, like you say, hours of operation. Click on the click to call and make a reservation, or call the business and have a discussion about whatever it is they're interested in. So yeah, I totally agree with that. And my second question relates to, I guess there's a threshold there where a business owner might look at their website and say, okay, I'm not going to do responsive. That might make a lot of sense if you've got a decent amount of traffic, and then you might look at the adaptive experience and go, that's still not ideal. Why would I, what are the sort of decisions people are making that sort of push them over the line and say, look, I'm going to have a mobile version of my website. So, in effect, a separate domain, and how does that work, and what does that mean in terms of your Google page rank and your search engine optimization for all your web content for your business? What sort of changes if I go to a dedicated mobile/tablet device version of my website?
Is your computer driving you crazy? Is it slow or doing things you didn't expect? Well, having a computer crash or pick up a virus can be a complete nightmare for a business, so having someone local you can trust to get you up and running again is critical. The dedicated team of experts at Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West will put your mind at ease from the moment you walk through the door and will get your problem solved in no time with a 100% guarantee on their work. Laptops, tablets, PCs, whatever you have, Roger and the team can fix it for you. So visit them today at 236 Bridge Street, Newtown. Well, can't get in to see them? No worries. Just call them on 4642 1331 and they'll come to you. Toowoomba Troubleshooters, Toowoomba West, on the web at www.computertroubleshooters.com.au/Toowoomba West.
If you've lost your income or had a change of earning capacity through no fault of your own and are struggling with debt that you can no longer handle, you probably feel a bit like this ant. If the struggle is getting you down and you feel overwhelmed, there is an answer. Central Liaison has helped thousands of people break free of the debt struggle by handling their debt for them. Freeze all interest, stop the harassing calls from the bank and start enjoying life again. Call them today on 0409 344 070 for a confidential, obligation-free chat about how Central Liaison can help you take your life back. The number again, 0409 344 070. Call them now. For the best night out in Dalby, you can't go past the Dalby Leagues Club, proud home of the Dalby Diehards. The Leagues Club offers a family-friendly atmosphere where you can relax and play. Have a drink at the bar while the kids play in a safe playground. Enjoy a delicious meal in their spacious dining area or try your hand at pool. Their friendly staff will look after you and make your experience one to remember. Visit them today. You'll find the Dalby Leagues Club on the corner of Orpin and Drayton Streets, Dalby, or call to make a booking on 4662 1433 and experience the Dalby Leagues Club.
Looking for exposure for your business or event? Take your business, community event, training seminar, sports fixture, function, concert or exhibition to the world with Power TV Australia and Power FM's unique live outside simulcasts. We can turn your next local event into a worldwide sensation with stunning live pictures, interviews, graphics and live action replays for a fraction of the usual cost. From a festival or sports fixtures to a corporate or charity event, Power TV Australia and Power FM can take your message live to our local and national viewers and listeners. Invite the world to your party by contacting Barry today on 0431 390 920 or email programming@powertvaustralia.com for a quote.
Sure, you're just creating a new set of pages. This is going to be unique content. Because it's going to be a completely different set of options there. Typically, what I recommend is one of two ways. One, if you're a local business and you're capable of doing so, get onto Google My Business, which is the Google Maps listing for local businesses. And when you register on Google My Business by going to google.com/business, and again, you have to be able to check off all the boxes to be approved to be on Google My Business. But for those local businesses, within Google My Business, within the dashboard, you can create a mobile website directly within Google's property. So if you really want to create a bespoke mobile optimized site, build it right inside of Google's platform, and you need to do no more because most likely that mobile site's going to have just a couple of pages and it's going to have just a little bit of content, and it's inside of the Google Site Builder, and it's really easy. That's it. So free, easy access, link back to your main website, so people know there's a link to the desktop version when you're building the Google Sites site within Google My Business. And then the other side is creating a CNAME record, and you can explain that, Doug, in a moment. But create a CNAME record So you have a subdomain on your Oz hosting, hosted website, and build the entire platform inside that subdirectory inside your hosting plan, and then make sure that you set up the appropriate background technology. Have your developer make sure that they direct people who are coming from user agents that are mobile to that site, and then that's it. It's as simple as that.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, that does sound like a pretty easy option. And just in response to the CNAME record, thanks, Ray. Yes, a CNAME record is one of those what are called domain name server records. So when you have a domain, then the domain name server records, or DNS records, which is the shortened version of that, basically that's like a routing table that gives information to any traffic that's looking to achieve anything that involves your domain name. So if it's internet traffic that is actually an email, trying to deliver an email to your business, it will check for the mail exchange server record on your domain name. So that's one type of domain name server record, or DNS record, and a CNAME record is another type of DNS record, which will tell anyone that's visiting, for example, in this instance, visiting your website, that there's a mobile-friendly version of the website, and the information and directions to make sure that they land on that content when they're on a mobile device. So yeah, some pretty simple and easy things to do there. It's not very difficult to adjust DNS records, but you do need to be aware of it and just know what DNS records you need to insert and in what format.
So, Doug, I wanted to make another point here.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So just briefly, for those of you who are interested, there are other platforms out there where you can direct the subdomain m.yourbusinessname.com to a completely different platform that is specifically for mobile. So the one that I've seen most often is one called Hibu, Hibu, I believe it is, and they work with local businesses to create these mobile optimized websites out the gate. And so it's just an option. Again, that's if you have the budget, but you could easily direct that m.yourbusinessname.com to Google My Business, to the Google site, the mobile Google site there, or to your own built site. But that just came to mind, and I think you have options, is what Doug and I are saying.
Correct. And Ray, just thinking through, certainly a lot of our hosting customers are using WordPress websites. So the ability to use a WordPress website, the CMS or maybe the theme, to create either the standalone version of your website or an adaptive version of your website, are there tools that come with either the WordPress instance or the theme that will help a business's developer achieve that outcome of the separate or the adaptive version of the website?
Oh, absolutely. So within WordPress, you have themes and you have plugins. Themes are the front-end framework through which someone who downloads your website gets to see your content, right? So your content is separated from the front-end visual layout by use of a theme. And plugins extend the abilities of WordPress. So if WordPress can't do something, a plugin gives WordPress that functionality. And so both actually are useful in the development of a WordPress mobile optimized or a WordPress mobile website, whether that be native or adaptive. And WordPress even has the ability to, with a plugin, extend the mobile website into a full-fledged app that you could publish into the Apple App Store or into the Google Play Store. So you've got some real power there within WordPress. But here, what happens is you can look in the theme directory or look for themes from purchase platforms, from theme marketplaces, and just make sure it says responsive. And then ultimately, the content that you show on your site will just automatically be relayed out for the mobile interface. Then you can also look for mobile plugins, sort of mobile website plugins. The one that we traditionally use is called WP Touch, and it's a free and premium plugin, so you can use the free one or you can upgrade to the premium, and that gives you a lot of functionality to be able to display the appropriate content to the appropriate users when they visit you on mobile.
Okay, that's good advice. Look, I think we've really covered some ground there, and I think everybody that watches this is going to go back to their website, investigate how it appears to them on a mobile device or a tablet, and hopefully make some informed changes that will improve the user experience and not break the bank. So I think we've covered this off, Barry. I was just going to open it up to back to you and just ask if you've got any further questions about this.
No, that's been
so
really
before we go there, Barry.
Yes,
Barry. Before we go there, can you display on screen for me what I'm about to say? Google has provided you all with a tool called testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com, and so what you can do is go to testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com, and on the screen you'll be able to type in your business URL, your business domain name. So you type in yourbusiness.com, and what it does is it tests your site for its optimal ability to be mobile ready, and it gives you back a bunch of feedback. So you put your email address in, and it sends you a report, and it will tell you all the things that you need to do in order to make your current site as mobile optimized. So if you plan to do nothing in terms of creating a separate mobile site, which is totally fine, just at least make sure that your current site is optimized for mobile, so that you're able to get appropriate traffic for those people, which is the majority of people now who are visiting on mobile.
Just tell us that site again, Ray.
Sure, testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com.
All right, that's up on the screen at the bottom now, so people can see that. That's a really good idea, and that is probably a good starting place for most people, because they can then at least see what's happening with their site. Now, one thing, Ray and Doug, that I wanted to clarify with you is Google is now punishing sites that are not mobile friendly, correct?
I'll let you run with that, Ray.
You want to take that, Doug? Okay. Yeah. So I'll answer this from the perspective that they're not. Google is not penalizing websites that are not mobile optimized to as great a degree as I think the news media has made it sound. Okay. However, Google does index websites that are mobile optimized and show them to more people. So, for example, page load speed is actually really important. We know that page load speed is important, and that means that your server needs to be able to load quickly and render files and that kind of thing. And it's a highly technical process. But ultimately, if what content you are trying to get in front of your users is highly valuable to the user, people are willing to wait. So it's not necessary that Google will always reduce your rankings because your website is, say, slow, and therefore not high on the mobile index rankings. Right. But that being the case, I don't think it's worth it for you to risk it. So you might as well make everything as optimal for what Google wants. And so that would be the bigger recommendation is don't worry about Google penalizing people. Be more concerned about being most optimal for Google. I mean, you think of search engine optimization and search engine marketing as kind of like dating, right? You don't think about the rejection so much. Think about making yourself most appealing to the search engines. And eventually you'll find somebody who likes you. So and that's the case with Google and Bing and all the others, right? Just keep working on representing your business well on the web. Check off the boxes and keep putting good content out there.
Okay, so if we're going to be dating Google, then we need to flirt a little bit so they'll take us out, right?
You bet.
Okay. Now, Doug, any other comments that you might have about how Oz Hosting can help people get to the point where their site is optimized and their mobile site is working the way it should be?
Yeah, sure, Barry. We're certainly able to help people host in the right sort of environment. We can help them with the selection of content management systems and managing those those websites efficiently, doing the backups, and we can send them to the right sort of folks to do the web development piece of it as well. So, but the DNS changes and all those sorts of things, that's our core competency, and they're the sorts of things our customer base find very easy to achieve inside their Oz Hosting control panel. That's quite simple and very DIY oriented. And just on the overarching question that we were talking about with Google and SEO, I think the logic with Google always is they're trying to make the experience great for the user. So if they know that somebody is doing a search on a particular subject matter and they are on a mobile device, they're hardly going to send that user to a website that has got a very poor reputation and a very poor user experience for somebody on a mobile device, because that person is going to bounce straight off. So Google would no doubt measure the time spent on site from a mobile device versus the time spent on the same device from a desktop device. And if the bounce rate is very, very quick off a mobile device, that's an instant signal to Google. Don't send people there, because they'll be disappointed and Google will send them elsewhere. So, just sort of reiterating, I think what Ray was saying, it's not so much that Google are penalizing your website. Your desktop traffic should be unaffected by the fact that your mobile traffic is not having a good experience. But if your mobile traffic is getting a great experience, then you should see an improvement in Google's rating, I guess, of your mobile developed site.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, gentlemen. This has been a really good discussion, and I think that I know I have at least one client that is struggling their mobile site, and I'm sure that there are going to be people out there who'll say, well, I wish I'd seen this a long time ago. Let's hope that this is going to be a really useful discussion for a lot of people out there. I put those details up that you were talking about before, Ray, so people can see those. Thanks, Doug and Ray. That was a really good discussion. I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of people out there that will have been very interested in what we've discussed. Don't forget, the information from here will be on video on demand. So if you want to go and have a look at that website that Ray was talking about and go back and review anything, you can always go back into the Switched On IT video on demand and look at this at any time. Be sure to go and share this with your friends. This is a topic that's very current, and probably a lot of people need to be looking at this. So go and share it on Facebook. We'll put it up on Facebook for you on our site as well. But share it with your friends. Make sure you go and like us on Facebook. Tell your friends about us. Let people know. Now, we'll have another show, another Switched On IT show next week at the same time. Be sure that you let people know. Next week, we'll probably continue on the same topic and maybe have a look at a website and let you see how this actually works in real life. So until next week, this has been Barry for Switched On IT. Take care.